Yeah, man. Whew. I'm just, I'm definitely waiting for my next big break to come. And I got only a few days, man, before I can finally do what I want, man. I'm waiting, man. I know I already feel like I'm in that mode, but I'm still in this reality right now until I can get it again. Now, of course, I've been on the record. I don't want to keep on hoping like this and wishing, because even though it may happen a little more often now, it seems, especially since just the past month we had that 2.5 week big break and all that. I mean, it's just I still gotta do what I gotta do. And obviously I said that as I proceed to this next big break coming up next week, not only am I needing to have fun for myself, but I also need to get the hell out of my dump, which I'm going to right now, unfortunately. Considering that my pay rate is just ultimately as shitty as hell, right? So yeah, I'm just waiting at this point, because I am so ready. Like, my mind is just already set in that mode already. It's like I just wish that even if it's gonna be maybe a couple of weeks, I just wish it was just permanent. You know what I'm saying? I just wish it was permanent. And it's only a matter of time. I know the bird season's coming. The days are gonna get shorter. As soon, Halloween's coming, and then we gotta flip the clocks back to where daylight savings time ends, and eventually it's gonna be Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, right? All the big stuff is like the big festivities are coming soon. I know it's only August, but as we approach practically like late August, it already seems like, with kids going back to school, man. I remember back in the days when I was going to school, elementary, high school, junior high, it always started in September. I don't know why kids now have to go, mid-August, or even just kind of toward mid-August. You know what I mean? It does not make any sense to me whatsoever, unless it's college. I remember when I started Cypress College, for the first time, entering, junior college, or college life rather. It was right toward late August. I can understand that if it's colleges that start early and then they end early, or early December and what have you. Same with if you're in a spring semester, you start in early. Well, I think it's kind of ironic, because the schools of elementary through high school, they start in mid-January, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, beginning of January. Whereas for colleges and universities, they start in late January, if you're talking about the spring semester, and then they end in May, and then high school, elementary through high school is till June, right? Or mid-June. Yeah. So yeah, man, it was just it almost kind of gets to that feel already. Getting back to what I was saying before I get to this topic right here, that the bird season is just not that far off, dude. It's already August. What is it? It's already the 18th. And guess what? In just a couple of days, oh man, it's gonna be Robbie's birthday, man. You know, one of the half of the Cox brothers. You know, I know the week after this week, it's gonna be Dewey's birthday to celebrate. And as far as I'm concerned, I know about what transpired these previous few weeks, where it's just been, you know, if you want to say it, practically more the same, and some of it has just gotten worse than what it was, you know, prior to the second group text incident and prior to the first group text incident. And right now, it's you know, I just asked myself this: will there be another celebration this year? You know what I'm saying? Will there be another one? Now, I don't want to say no, okay? Because, again, I know I'm fully aware that I was the one that's responsible for all the damage to the Nutballers group as of late, as of these past few weeks as well. You know what I'm saying? And I know I have caused some, you know, just maybe a few relationships to tweak differently, you know, to where it's become more and more upon me, and because I am the Nutballer leader, that I feel like I'm the one that's causing more for this group to crumble, because of a lot of the actions that I made, and especially last week. So, you know, I want to say I hope there will be, because we've been, like, the last time this didn't happen, to be honest with you, was 2019. Or yeah, and well, if you want to count 2020 with the shutdown, yeah, fine, 2020, because, you know, I was one of the only couple of people from Nutballers that just was not willing to go out, period. So 2020 was the last time. I wanted to say 2019 if you're referring to the normal life like this. If you're talking about the normal life, it's 2019. Yeah, because in 2019 I remember I had to deal with this nightmare chest issue, and it's kind of making me feel limited to just hang out in general, to where a lot of times when I do hang out with my friends, I'm just walking around, you know. So we were walking around, going places, whether we shoot hoops or just going hiking, or, you know, going places, going to museums and what have you, right? Hell, even watching movies at the movie theater. I remember watching The Lion King with Dewey, Russ, Eugene, and I think a boss was with us at the time. And those seats at that time in the 4-star cinemas, which is now called Starlight. What is it called? Starlight Cinemas? Yeah, Starlight Cinemas. That the seats then were really uncomfortable. They were so tight, like it was already affecting my chest so bad that I had to get up so often. That's how bad it was. Okay, like even when I had to come home, it was like, man, I mean, I needed that. I needed all that rest, and, you know, I remember those times where I would have trouble sleeping. I mean, but surprisingly enough, I was able to sleep through the problems that I had. You know, that problem, you know, the chest problem. So, but, you know, I had some positivity that time, thinking about, you know, my friend, like, you know, I still had a lot of friends then, like Kriza, who I thought dearly about back then, because she was one of the, you know, several that I missed, because we had a really close relationship, coveted by heart relationship. And, you know, Christine is another one, obviously Sam, you know, and Mari, right? So look, man, in regards to this topic, I mean, like I said, I hope there will be one. I'm not saying there won't be. I mean, look, right now I just need myself more than anything else, like to just better myself, because I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. It's gonna take a new job for me to just really help me through, especially with the mental help that I'm getting. Because right now, it's clear to me that when I'm there for that long, I already know how miserable I'm gonna be, and even if I find my temporary happiness in winning games in my basketball shoot-around season, that's not saying very much in the grand scheme of things that is going to change life for me. No. Even if I go out with friends, that ain't gonna change life for me like that. I told you, and I've said it time and time again. I've said it even on social media before, that it takes a new job for me to just change life for the better, change myself for the better. And like Lisa advised some people, anyone who leaves that dump, should seek counseling. I personally could have done that after I leave this dump, but I'm still here, So look, I already know this year for me, it's just filled with nothing but problems, and just recently, last few weeks and all that, the two dilemmas I have to deal with, it's just, that's why I have a hard time just finding any relaxation for myself. Like, my energy is at an all-time low, and I've been surrounded by just nothing but stressful vibes, and it's like I'm surrounded by unhappiness, misery. It's just an ongoing thing, even in my dump. It's just a lot of unhappy. Like, when it comes to my outside life, it's a lot of unhappiness, a lot of misery, a lot of stress, sadness, and just a lot of drama. Whereas here in my dump, it's just a lot of BS and some drama, and there's just no happiness involved, and I'm hardly ever being used, anymore as an employee. My life is literally destroyed because of the fact I'm still in this dump, and everything that's been going wrong with that dump. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me. So look, man, like I said, I know there's a lot of things just going on, and I just hope there will be a chance. I know right now a lot of spaces need to be needed, right? And especially after what happened last week. I mean, if for some reason that it's not happening, this year, which I hope not. I mean, I want it to happen like every year, which is always good for the nut ballers, right? If it does not happen, then so be it. It's like, it pains me. To an extent that it will not happen, but it will just make me like, look, after what happened like last year, we were able to do it then, and but now we'll have to see. Because with the nut ballers the way it is now, like, there's once upon a time when I said there was hope. Now it's like not, it's becoming from that to just more uncertainty, and now with Robbie's birthday coming up, hey, I wish him happy birthday in advance, it's already in a couple of days, and look, if it just so happens, I hope, because guys like myself, Russ, I'm sure the other half of the Cox brothers, Dewey Cox, would love to be a part of this celebration, as it was every year. So we'll just have to see at this point. So it like I said, it's just been another terrible year for me, and especially as I'm in this dump, it's just the fact that it's just been more of a curse that's led to my life being messed up as it is. And you know, when you see just nothing happening, it's like, hey, well, it is what it is at this point with what I'm going through, because I feel more and more not so used like I was the first couple of years, and it's just more problems on my end, like outside of this dump than it is like in this dump. Like, you know, I just hardly anything's ever happening. I'm just mostly just sitting up there and just trying to get through the day, as with a lot of people. So look, man, like I said, I just hope that it will happen this year. You know, I'm just if it has to be late, fine. You know, we did it with like with Carlos in 2022, and then I remember we did it with you know, with Julio's birthdays twice, 2 years in a row. You know, in 22 and yeah, 22 and 23. And with Carlos's birthday, it was 2022, like in April 2022, because of the fact that Dewey had to postpone for, you know, for so many, you know, so much so that like we ended up having to celebrate in April of the following year, which is 2022, when originally it was supposed to be. Well, I mean, I celebrated Carlos's birthday in you know, originally on his birthday. That's when the breakfast only tradition started, you know. Well, actually, when Russ came along, he started to get more passionate about it, so we just made it a real thing. Anyways, yeah, man, this is all I gotta talk about, and you know, like I said, I'm hoping there will be one. That just remains to be seen at this point, because only time will tell, because, you know, his birthday is in a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? So let's just find out. I mean, some of us would love to be a part of it, and you know, I just hope that it will happen. So so anyways, y'all let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys later.